Let's focus on the structural drawings for the Veterinary Center next. Here on sheet S01, we have all of the structural notes. So this is where you'll find things like typical design criteria and notes that apply throughout the project, kind of the general notes, and also some of the specifications for the structural items are given here in this set of notes. On the next sheet, we have the structural foundation plan. This will show the locations and types of footings for the project. Take a look at the bottom left-hand corner. Let me zoom in. We have a schedule here for the different sizes and types of footings, listing some specific notes for those footings, and also the size and number of reinforcement bars that are needed. Let me zoom in on this foundation plan and let's take a look. So here we are looking at the foundation under the reception or the lobby area, and you can see that it is a edge foundation along the edge of the building here. So that's where the footings are going to be located. And then in the center here is going to be this note, the typical concrete floor slab. It's a 4-inch slab. And they specifically have footings called out under these columns. So C5 footing, so column number 5, footing type 2. Also on this plan, you'll see tags for structural details. This would call to detail 2 on sheet S05. And you will see the same column lines as on the architectural sheets, so that the two sets of drawings coordinate and the measurements are correct for both. Here's the next sheet. It's S-03, and this is the framing plan for the floor that's in between the first level and the second level. So that's going to be the second floor level. And in some places, that's actually a lower roof level. So that's why it says here, second floor and lower roof framing plan. Let's zoom in and see what we can find over here. Okay, well, as we talked about before, this section up here in the front at the lobby is a two-story open area. And so that's why we've got this big X here. It says open to below. Okay, so that area doesn't have any framing in it. The rest over here, these dotted lines are going to be our open web steel joists, and then around the edges are going to be our our wide flanges, our steel beams. For example, this one is a, if I can read it, oh yes, W12 by 19. So the joists, the open web steel joists, are resting on these secondary members, the wide flange beams. Around the edge, take a look right here. The open web steel joists are resting on this 8-inch load-bearing masonry wall. On the next sheet, S04, we have the upper roof framing plan. So we're moving up, and so these are the top level, basically, roof framing plans. Let's zoom in on this section here. Remember, this is the top of that 2-story open lobby, and so this is kind of a showpiece entry area, and you can see that it is framed with steel wide flanges, W16 by 26 right here. But then this dashed line going the other direction, those would be the open web steel joists. And here is their note, C6 by 13 joists typical. and the slope is going this way, sloping down that direction. And here is a member along the perimeter. Sheets S5 and 6 are going to be details. Specifically here on sheet S5 we have foundation details. Let's zoom in on one of these foundation details and take a look. Okay, I've picked detail 7 here, a typical interior footing. So what you'll see, this piece right here would be your concrete slab on grade. This is your floor, and also on that side. And what we're looking at right here is a column. So the column comes down, it bears on this footing. And look, the size and the reinforcement of the footing are per the schedule. So each footing would be tagged on the plan, and then from the plan you would refer to the schedule to find out exactly how many reinforcing bars, what size the footing is, etc. So your construction sequence would be first to pour this footing with the reinforcing already in it and this column plate, this base plate right here. Next to install the steel column going vertically, and then you would pour the slab on grade and also fill this piece in with concrete for a level floor installation around the column. Here's sheet S06. It's got the remainder of the structural details. I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so I've picked section 2, and what we're looking at is an open web steel joist right here. And this is going to be the second floor construction. So this going up and down, that is a metal deck that is set on top of the joists that are going this way, and then the metal deck sets on top of them, and then on top of that middle deck they will fill in a thin concrete layer for the flooring. And take a look, this joist is bearing right here on this structural wall. Here's a figure from your book. It's figure 9-24, where your textbook is trying to show you a architectural detail and then how it looks once it's built. So in the detail, you can see right here a structural steel tube column. And here is the glass facade. It's a curtain wall right here. And so in the picture, the structural steel is going to be concealed right in here. Can't see it. And here is the glazing. Here's the glass that is cut through in the detail. Finally, let's end with a picture of what those open web steel joists are going to look like. Here's a view. We're standing up and looking up at the ceiling, and we see the open web steel joists. We see the metal decking that's going and bearing onto those joists. And we see at kind of the upper left and lower right corners, we see the steel beams that those joists are resting on.